because
Yeah, good.
I had nothing that better to do when I was awake.
Really is good.
So I just,
Uh,
I guess I drove a little fast.
yeah, that's good. Drive fast, good as well. If you can.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I've been doing good. I just been sometimes trying to be a little bit more intentional with my time throughout the week. I've been
Yeah.
trying to read some books.
Yeah, I've heard you mention the Hustlers and Tellers book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been reading that.
his journal. His
The autobiography
autobiography.
that Dad had.
Oh, that's right. Autobiography.
And then I've been reading the Chinese philosophy book you gave me, and then I've been reading Frankenstein, a book that Justin.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, did he tell you?
Mm-hmm.
He gave that to me, so I've been listening. I've been reading that as well. So, just been trying to be a little bit more intentional with my time.
Sure.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I do some other stuff
Yeah.
in my free time that's just kind of like what I like, just kind of
Sure.
fun stuff, whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it. But but yeah, just trying to kind of grow and expand my even my English vocabulary,
Oh wow.
because
Yeah.
just to kind of have words better.
Yeah.
And reading
Yeah.
these books, every book that I'm reading is kind of like especially like Frankenstein, that super kind of old way of talking.
Oh, I never read that book. How do I know? Yeah, I heard it's fun. It's an interesting story. So.
It is interesting so far. It's like a lot of letters, like written letters.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's like going through different written letters that someone's
Oh,
writing.
that's interesting way to write.
Writing
books.
to his
Yeah.
sister.
Oh yeah, report what's going on.
Yeah, maybe it just starts like that, or is the whole thing's like that? I'm not sure. Anyways, yeah, it's pretty good. Because Justin, I don't know if he told you why he gave it to me, but he lended it to me so that I could. Because a few weeks back, I mentioned to Justin, like, hey, I would like, because I'm not gonna really be in Monday school in the fall time.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that I'd like to, if I can, come in at some point,
Yeah.
for literature time or something, to kind of like
Yeah.
maybe teach a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Not maybe just kind of be there to share something. Maybe not teach.
Sure.
But
You can teach. You can teach the younger one. You know. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't shy about it. It's good to learn. I teach. I learn. You know.
yeah,
Mm.
for sure. So he just wanted me to have that so that I could
Yeah.
have some backup,
Yeah.
like knowledge of that, because I think they're gonna start on that in like a month or a few months or so.
Nice.
That
no?
book. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
And then, yeah, we all went to the chiropractor the other day too to get all our.
That's why you look so relaxed.
Bones
So-
and muscles.
yeah.
Apparently, I had like a pectoral tear here.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Oh.
I never felt anything here, but
Because of accident, I
Yeah.
guess. Oh man.
yeah, I don't know. I never felt any pain here. It
Oh.
was always up here,
Yeah.
but he said it would just heal.
Oh yeah.
But so we did.
Still
that.
sore?
I can kind of feel it when I stress
Yeah.
my
Okay.
muscle. Not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I couldn't feel it right now.
Yeah.
But when I'm like exercising or picking up something heavy, I can
Sure.
definitely
That's understandable. Yeah.
feel the remains of that torn
Yeah.
tissue in there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then you don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but any new reflection of the shock, right? Like, since that nature, you have different stages, so first the shock, well, what does happen? Don't know. Then copy the thing near you, so
Yeah.
making sense to you, so you can quiet down, look at things more objectively than time.
Yeah.
then long term, you like I would call it meditate on it, so think about more, hear others' perspective, think change yourself. Those things changes you, right? So
Yeah.
whether you like it or not, it changes you. So the beauty of things in that nature. Normally people just it's okay, you can answer it if you
It's a alarm.
Okay. If people that's where trauma happen, where certain things happen. If you only keep to yourself, it's very unhealthy actually. Because of shock.
Right.
And bring dramatic changes in the man. Good or bad, so the point is that a healthy way to deal with it is talk to people a little bit, so yeah. I'm not using psychology to tell you that.
No,
I'm talking about, don't hold things back yourself.
Yeah.
Especially not something maybe not necessarily a good light, so that's the time you want to work with us, work through yourself.
Yeah, and I've definitely talked to a lot of people about it.
Right,
Usually right after it happened, but
that's my point. 3 stages. In the beginning, dealing with the shock, you don't actually know what you're talking about.
yeah. So maybe you're saying it's better to maybe talk about it again after the shock is
Meditate on it.
Yeah.
And thinking about it.
Yeah.
Meditate, thinking about it. That's the time you really begin to apply wisdom and begin to talk to people more solid things, so.
Yeah, I think that was a few days after it happened, after we had kind of did have some meditation on it. We had a conversation with Dad a few nights later about it.
Can I share something more with you on this topic?
Yeah. Well.
Not this topic. I'm talking general, so I'll let you go on with your topic.
Oh, okay.
General principle.
Yeah.
How you learn from life, learn from life from the dramatic sometimes. Your life is pretty stable, as much there are a lot of drama with it, so. You did not left your parents. You didn't, hundreds of people oftentimes is your year in, year out friends, making sense to you, so. Life is pretty simple. You never went through war, famine, those kind of dramas, right? So
Yeah.
you never go hungry. So things of your life never really out of your control. Making sense to you? Normally is in your plan, in your control. Even it can be dramatic a little bit, but not really out of the elements of your life. You don't feel out of elements. Now, there are things in life happen to us literally out of our control. Other elements. You're asking it obviously for that category in a sense, but suppose, let's say, you see nations right now have war, am I?
Right.
So I'm talking about the soldiers, the people fighting war. What about the normal people like a young child like you? Suddenly home loss. Finally they had uproot, go to another nation, become refugees, am I? So nobody talk about it. Hugely impactful for the young mind, heart.
Yeah.
However, that's not what a man pay attention to. That should be pay attention to, if you think about it. Because those young heart, young mind, later on become a leader, father, whatever capacity in the be. Make sense to me? Why do you think Hitler become a Hitler? Stalin become a Stalin. Mao Zedong become Mao Zedong. Only when they did some things outstanding of the norm has a huge impact on human societies, and later on people trace back, when they're young they do this, do that, right? So I'm talking, so why those personality are formed is because when they're young, something happened to them so dramatic they could not facilitate very well.
Mm-hmm.
So it shaped their future pursuits. Everything began to contingent on that one trauma or one sense being oppressed, being abused. All their life should do to bring some difference to the world. Or they want to prove themselves to be somewhere. This is a three-person opposite. So basically, I don't think they found themselves, rather lost themselves when they're young. Am I right? We think, oh, that's just a three-person dramatic, bad guy or good guy, whatever people think about them. So, but the truth of the matter, most people go through the same thing. Just have different outcomes in life. I'm more philosophical talking to you. No, the point is not philosophical. The point is to learn to deal with your growth. In the season where you need to grow. And if you write off the accident so easily, say, "Oh, that's happened," that's not serious attitude of life. So.
No.
Obviously, you're not a serious person. You think about those things. You made some profound decisions already based on those things. Make sense to you? So not try to put it in a bad light. I'm talking about that's healthy to go through that process.
Yeah.
It's needed. Unfortunately, as I told you, people don't pay attention to those things, right? So
Yeah.
few person in our life knows how to facilitate that because it's awkward to feel.
Right.
Actually, that's a great teaching moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's the moment you will learn how to handle crisis, how to handle maybe you mess it up. I mean, life we can mess things up, right? So what do you do with it? Are you going to bury your life in the sand and say, I'm not going to do life again? So that's not right, so, or learn lesson. Learn from failures. Learn from the wrong. So the point is not even about this word event. The point is to develop, adopt a healthy way to think about things, especially to facilitate yourself through the things going on. So that's my point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested to discuss little events.
Yeah.
It's dramatic as it is, dangerous as it is, it's still small.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're interested to see how you build in you a mechanism, you feel, a way to handle yourself in the middle of it, so that's part of life maturity. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's all. You don't want to talk that topic. I'm just generally talking.
No, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot that can be overlooked in a situation like this because even the fact, because I think a lot of people wouldn't look beyond the obvious things, which are that nobody got hurt and that God protected us, which are very true, very something to be very thankful for. But I don't think a lot of people would look past that. Like that's all they would see from that situation.
I think they think about it, but it's not the topic.
Yeah.
They don't feel.
Yeah, maybe they would think
comfortable with the
things.
dialogue of the thing.
But yeah, they wouldn't try to express that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know right after it happened, and I ran up to try to go get cell service to call one of my parents.
Yeah.
I called them and I came back, and Liam and Esther were walking towards me to see if I was able to call someone.
Yeah.
So we walked back to where the car was. I mean, I actually said a lot of things that my dad said after he got there, which were that, yeah, we're safe, yeah, God protected us, but like, why did he protect us? Like, what for? and I kind of expressed that could be, I mean, even a warning of sorts, or it could be a lot of things. It could be, not that I knew what it was exactly, but I all to say that I definitely looked at it a lot deeper.
Yeah.
Even from like 15 minutes after it happening, looked at it as something deeper than just, oh well, good thing everyone's okay and that God protects us with His angels. I mean, that's so true. But like, we can't just have that as the only thing that we see as God. He's not just someone who just protects us because we're some special little thing.
Yeah.
He protects us for a reason.
Yeah.
Or else He wouldn't. Because it's only worth protecting something if that thing is supposed to do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meaning
purpose in life.
Purposeful,
God want to accomplish it through you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously. Well, let's get some tea. So.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to drag into an awkward conversation.
Oh, that's not awkward to me at all.
Yeah. Try to help you to go through a process, so I think it will take some time to get it really work out in the back, So,
Yeah.
learn, let not that be an awkward topic in a sense. Be yourself, right?
Oh yeah, it's not awkward.
Not awkward.
I think it's a learning curve, and
I have a personal parallel to that. Not to try to drive myself into the story. So I used to be homeless, remember that?
Yeah.
So I'm not homeless. My experiences of being gone. For a long time I feel bad to explain to people that I was homeless. So it was awkward. That's I don't know why. At the same time, I understand people may have some bias about me being homeless.
Right.
And I don't feel comfortable about it either. So I would blur away the context. And one day the Lord said to me, why you want to do that? So do you think people disrespect you because you're homeless? Basically, have open policy, basically. So I begin to tell people what I felt. I'm not hiding the information in a sense, objectively give the information. So later on, the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, the more I'm grateful to God what He did to me. Because homeless period was the best university I had. I met God, encountered a lot of things I cannot learn from normal way of life. So I'm not proud of being homeless per se, but I'm definitely not proud of being in university either. So it's basically the standard of the world began dissipate on me. I have very little memory the time I'm in UT, or even my 4 years university. I mean, not much memory. I mean, it's not very vivid memory. My life went through so much stuff, so sorry. And so this certain, I'm not a person true on my memory very well. Sorry. But I don't remember much, So it's like anytime I think about, that happened, I remember. So that is like watching a movie. So something like I watched this movie before. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So but the homeless, man, when I was homeless, a lot of memory were real to me. Were clear to me. So because I struggle a lot, So.
Yeah, I just kind of went through that same memory feeling myself.
Go ahead.
Like so meaningless, but like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Basically, because I remember, wasn't even long ago at all. It's just you get those random times where you have. I don't know. It's kind of weird. There's certain times in your life, time periods of life, I personally, I don't know if anyone else does. I remember times with a certain gut feeling.
Guts feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like a body state, a feeling in your
yeah,
body that
yeah.
you, or when you feel it again, you get like, what do you call it? It's like,
Deja vu? No, deja
yeah,
vu.
yeah, sort of. It's
Yeah.
just like you're, for example, when I first got my own room,
Oh.
there were the first like few months of that unfamiliarity of being by myself
Yeah.
and having my own space.
Yeah.
Just for example, it's just there was a certain feeling.
No,
Like,
right?
Maybe not.
Fearful or something?
No, not.
Lonely?
I don't think it was bad. It was
That's
just. It was just different. That's
Oh.
that's what it was. It was different.
Sure, yeah. I can
And
imagine.
yeah, it was just that, and I get that sometimes when I'm there and I remember that. It's
Yeah,
bad.
right, yeah.
Anyways, I didn't mean to.
No,
interrupt
that's
you.
great. Every time I've had to move to a new location to start a new life,
Mm-hmm.
that's always a thing about it. It takes a long time for me to adjust.
Yeah.
2 or 3 months.
Yep.
And you get to know new people, so that's happened to me a lot, so
Right.
when I grew up, so yeah, that was always strange.
Mm.
I mean, we're shy boys. I'm not sure you are going more than me. We're a shy boy. When I was young, we're quiet. Can you believe that?
Yeah. Okay.
You can?
Yeah.
I'm more like Noah. Seriously.
I can see that.
I don't talk a lot. So I let people talk. I enjoy the conversation, so I can talk, but I don't talk a lot. So can you believe that? God changed the personality. Unbelievable. And I was a follower. I was obviously people tired of me for some kind of council decision, but I never want to lead. So.
Wanted to be led.
Not really. I'm part of the leadership. I never really personally have any ambition to lead anybody, but because sometimes you have gifts, you have a personality, people look at you more dependable, they allow you for decisions. So that's natural leadership, So I don't know, explain it to you. So So,
No, I understand.
Then you go to office, go to a business, you got non-natural leadership, you got organizational leadership, if you understand how important.
Yeah.
So you have to discharge duty now. So there are leadership and organic, don't have a system, don't have organization. It's more based on personal character, personal relationship with people. Then the relationship. There's are places you assign to appoint to. It's a different way to discharge leadership. So they can be merged one. Normally, you don't never know how to do it. But definitely they're different. So yeah. Am I making sense here? So in my life, when I was young, I was involved different responsibility, but it was always volunteered into it. Or rather, people compel you to do it, or impel you, whatever the word. So yeah. For example, I'm a friend of professors, right? So many professors. I naturally become a leader for the students. So the student have organization things with the school system, whatever. But my leadership is more of a academic or personal relationship, So when you respect by your professor in Chinese school is a big thing, So sorry, so just saying to you, so yeah. So everybody had to listen to what he had to say.
Right.
Because the official guys, the magician guys, they only support the academic part in the school. John says my point. They can only do the supporting the academic part, and you are the one that it seems a young leader or whatever. For the academic part, that compel them to have to hear what you had to say. So that's the truth of the matter. So yeah. So that natural leadership you know, so make sense to you, you know. So I remember we have this guy assigned to several guys assigned for, like you have a big department, you have a guy take care of one a teacher there will take care of one level class, the next year class. They have 4 years, right? So in school, so I have 4 guys at least take care of each school, you know. So and they oftentimes is graduate, you know, in training to be teachers, future teachers or whatever. So I've become friend all of them, you know. So yeah. Sorry. So I'm getting married, you know, so I would go there to participate in the marriage, participate, you know, they will cook things for me, you know, regularly. Inviting me. I don't know why, so, you know. Why? Oh, later on I recognize because they want to be your friend, you know, to support their work. So, because you have a natural leadership, what you like, you don't like, what you agree, you don't agree, influence the whole company of the students. So you don't recognize you're doing anything, just young lad, you don't do anything, you know. So, but those people, they know, in order to enlist the support for the students, they have to have your agreement on your term, on good terms with you. So that's a natural leadership, very effective it. So am I making sense to you? You know, so yeah, they become our friends. You know, so they tried to train me up to stay with us and take over what they do. So they were supportive. So, but it's beyond a normal relationship. Your influence over people is beyond the normal. You get my point? Try to tell you. So now, then you have 3 years enter into a business, you begin to assign into a job, right? So, and the place I assigned to is pretty rough people. People don't necessarily go off the same card like I was in life, you know. So most are uneducated, not uneducated, not highly educated rather. So I'm a high educated, so a good, wonderful school. So pretty sophisticated for them, see the slide. So how you make this is not like 2 classes, am I right? So 2 classes people. You don't just hang around with the lawyers, am I right? Just talking. You know? So, you know, lawyer had on. That's exactly how they treated me. So they treated me like some special class. So because I went to school, you know, in China, go to certain kind of school is not easy. So you had to learn to be friend with them, you know. So. Well, because of that kind of things, people are gonna test you, give you a hard time for it. So. Especially if you're a young leader, so they don't believe you can do the thing, or you know you can lead. So they think it's more because you're educated, you get a better job. So they're gonna try you. Said you do the real thing or not. So
right.
So you handle for them to handle personalities. So. So on the other side, I have this bunch of leaders or department leaders, whatever leaders. They're much younger, older than me. At least 10 years old, average at least. So maybe average actually 20 years older than me. So making sense here? Some of this a young baby for them. So. Sorry. Oh, I was a song's age, you know, so they don't necessarily pay attention to you that much in the beginning. So
Yeah.
so you get involved, know people, learn people, you know, you have they give a natural position for you in the organization. You begin to charge that they found gradually become, oh, this young man is capable, or he's friendly, and he's also, you know, serious with his responsibility. You then learn the respect, you know. So
right.
But that's a different way to achieve respect, you know. So sometimes certain people just don't like you. You know, just not necessarily reasonable people. You know, so
You know?
So you have to do something about it, in the organizations. You get what I'm trying to say to you? So leadership is to be learned, to be nurtured. Leadership is not always this leadership means assume responsibility. Assume responsibility is the beginning of all true leaderships. Whether you're in the position or not in the position, you will assume some kind of responsibility in relationships. So in American world, the way how you assume leadership most through competition, through ambition. So not all society, not all. That's not always a way to do it. True leadership actually through ambition and through competition is the worst way to assume true leadership. Character, wisdom, rise up to the occasion to assume responsibility. So that is a way to learn to eventually you learn true leadership. So
Yeah.
That's all. So yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really important, like you were saying.
Yeah. Go on. Comment on it or reflect on it.
Yeah. It's like the individual relationships with people and everything that you do. Like, it's really important, even if they're like people you don't know very well or very long. Can be so important, just the things that they can impact on you or the impact you leave on them, or what you do.
Think about you. You have a bunch of young people around your life, am I? You like it or not, you're naturally some kind of leader to them. Not in every aspect. Treat like a peer, but actually maybe heart they do look at you as some kind of leadership, so or maybe not, who knows. So yeah. So I think each our young people should be a leader. To know how to discharge the responsibility, know how to lead. So yeah. There's nothing wrong to learn leadership.
Yep.
So yeah, that's my point.
It's really important.
Yeah. Leadership doesn't mean everybody has to be the head of a decision. Leadership must actually learn most support others, help others, assume their responsibility.
Leadership isn't, or real leadership.
Yes, go ahead.
Isn't gained, I think, through your own ideas, because you can't just say you're a leader.
Yes.
I'd say someone else has to say you're a leader, because you can't be a leader if you're not leading anyone.
Yes.
But
expand that. That is a very interesting point there. Yeah, very insightful. Yeah.
Being a leader really has to do, obviously, with how you lead and who you're leading. I think an important attribute of a leader is not to have enemies. And not enemies in the sense of
mortal enemies. Okay.
Not
personal enemies. Okay.
Not enemies is in the sense that you're, I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
You have an idea, you just don't know how to verbalize it. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the enemies in the sense that you're not opposing someone, and with the ideas you're leading people in, or the standard you're trying to represent. It's not something that's
it's not personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
how I put it. It's not personal. You represent the principle, represent the way. Yeah.
Yeah. So And I guess another thing is that you really have to believe in what you're trying to lead someone else in, and you have to live that out, because it's going to be really difficult and really on edge if you're not even living what you're trying to.
Yeah, that's tough way, right?
Be,
So,
yeah.
Be example for others. Yeah.
Cause so I think, I mean, there's a lot of ways to be a leader. I think, for younger people like me and others, there's like gradual ways.
Yeah.
Because you can't. I don't think there's a lot of wisdom that goes into leading.
Sure.
Maybe being an example is a better way of saying it for younger people. Maybe, I don't know, because I think it's
It's okay. Yeah.
pretty difficult for a younger person to like be a leader, because in the sense of like leading multiple people.
Yeah, leadership is, you would think is a natural thing. It's actually not natural. It's like any other life skill. You learn it.
Yeah.
That's very hard for people to believe that. But many people, thrust into leadership not because they choose it. Actually, situation compel them to assume leadership. So oftentimes we attach leadership to somebody ambitious,
Right.
something want to just show it in the center of attention, thing that nature. That's not always true, so I mean, the best leadership is actually because they come within an ideal, and the ideal represent people's what they want, in a sense, the embodiment something, then they try to express that idea, lead that idea. There are different ways of leading people. You need to think about it as well. That's to try to actually inspire you to think about it.
You can mislead somebody.
Absolutely will. Even
Still
even
gotta
good
be-
leader going to make mistakes. So So therefore there will be critic tell you, hey, you did this, did that. Everybody learn, I think. So you can't say that, hey, I'm a leader, therefore I'm 100% always right. That's terrible. So,
And depending.
no others should look at it. You said he will never make a mistake because the leader. So that's nonsense. So
And you definitely lead very depending on how you've been led.
yes,
Yeah.
that's true. That's big one actually.
Yeah.
Let's try the other one. I'll try to highlight is you have to learn to be led. Know how to be led.
Yeah.
The best to learn leadership is sitting under somebody who know how to lead. Observe how they do things, so it's just,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to allude to.
Yeah.
Like, it takes time
Take time
to be a leader, because you
Yes.
got to learn how to be led
Yeah.
and what it's like to be led.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
So give you some living example, by you or borrow from others. So.
Yeah, well, I think that an easier example would be like just in the household with in the position of being a father, because that's a source of leadership in the household.
Yeah.
So that's an example of kind of like, how do we, there's a certain way people do things in their household.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me think about our community as a whole,
Yeah.
because there's obviously some foundational principles that we all follow, but everyone has their own way,
Yes.
household.
Yes,
They all have their own their own way of running a household.
Sure.
And I wouldn't think it should all be the same.
No way. It
Yeah.
cannot be the same, So.
And I think that's really interesting. That's something that I've thought about a lot.
Yeah.
How just people do things differently in their household. Anyways, and that's
Give me some example. We don't want to criticize people, but observation.
Well, like bedtime, for example. Like,
go to bed.
I mean, I guess that comes different with the age
Mhm.
of families, but like, okay, like 10 o'clock's bedtime, or some people have 8 o'clock's bedtime. So that's a different thing. Or maybe,
Let me be more clear. Those are obvious things, So, but so observe the things that in little bit the essence, a little bit behind the events, behind the mindsets rather.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's a good word. Observe the mindsets behind things.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And like households, you mean?
Yeah, I mean whatever you think it's how to discharge leadership in that regard.
I think in leadership, depending on how many people you're leading, you have to know exactly what the people want and what they're after. If we're talking about leadership in general, because that's what I'm referring to, not a household.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about
That's okay.
leadership
That's okay.
in general.
That's okay. Now that's only one part of the.
Oh yeah, I was expanding on that.
Yeah, I think that's dangerous one actually.
To know what people want.
Yeah. Because people sometimes don't know what they want.
Yeah.
Second, what they want is maybe not a good thing.
Oh yeah, well that's.
Even when they know it.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, you got to evaluate whether you want to become that kind of leader or not. So,
and that's what I was saying. Yeah. To know it, obviously, you wouldn't just want to do everything that people want to do just to make them happy.
Yeah. So expand on that one.
That would destroy the whole purpose of you leading someone in a certain way. The purpose was for them to follow you and do something that you're trying to portray to them.
Yeah, I think there is a cooperation, unity, and their attention.
Sure.
Between the one lead and those being led. And it's not necessarily an ungodly thing. We would think it is. Just to lead the disciples, they definitely want to be led by him. Call him Lord, Rabbi, Shepherd, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's still tension going on, right? So the tension is sometimes they don't understand what he tried to do. And he tried to teach them what to do. Sometimes they're slow to learn. He had to do what he needs to do. So not necessarily always on board with it.
But yeah. But
I'm going to give you an example. Said even the perfect Lord can now seem to do perfect leadership in the eyes of man, So.
And I don't think there is any such thing as perfect leadership. Besides.
There you go. But he is perfect leadership.
Sure. Yeah.
So the different definition of perfection, perfect leadership is yet to be defined.
I don't think maybe there's no definition of a perfect follower of leadership, because I think because if Jesus was a perfect leader, and he was
a perfect follower as well to his Father.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, Jesus is a different exception.
Yeah. So my point is that you can't see that. There is a perfect follower. There is a perfect leader.
There was.
Yeah. Everything have a perfect idea there, so you can't see there now.
True. That's true.
So the variation of it is different stages of understanding, different locations. Go ahead. I don't want to discourage you.
No.
And try to.
I only know so much, so I just.
No. Here, you are into a discussion. This discussion, as philosophical as it is, but it's not philosophical. Leadership is always a word practical.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So once you think about those things, ponder on those things, then you understand what it means to be a leader.
Yeah.
You must think about those things. You when you read for personal ambition, read self-interest, read for self-gain, personal gain. You wanted to fulfill God's assignment to you, right? So to make your life usable in His hand for others, well, for sure. If that requires you to assume or learn some kind of leadership, receive, to be led, learn, then lead others, right? That's obviously part of the apostleship.
Yeah.
Apostle leader, right? So So apostles sent somebody had to send them. That means they learn from the one sent them, right? So then they send to somebody, right? So So they have to establish them, right? So that is a part of the deal in a sense. So we talk the leadership is more seems a secular topic. It's not secular. It is innately in sonship. Sonship implied godly leadership, godly stewardship, godly responsibilities. So, you know, I'm teaching you this is because a part of the kingly wisdom. We use different words to define these things. These things is part of a deal. You know, am I making sense here? No, yeah. So it's not that the worldly people will use it, the devil will twist it, but we need to know there's a righteous way. You know, there's a pure way to do these things, and it's from the Lord. You know, He is down in us. Is that making sense here? Yeah. Yeah. So you don't have to apologize discussing the things.
No, yeah.
But man refuse discuss the things happily because they have worldly ambition in it. Let me tell you, every school you go there, they literally call leadership school there. Business leadership, you know, some political leadership. Out there in school, with the learning, try to do it, be a leader. But you don't have to go to school to learn to be a true leader, right? So, but you think about it, you know, so to be a leader is a bad thing. According to God, it's a good thing. According to man, it seems ambitious or being shameless. So this is a word Christians begin to fall short because accuse someone want to lead as if he's ambitious or ungodly. That was never the truth in the Bible.
Yeah.
Truth in the Bible, God wanted His people to volunteer, to assume better responsibilities. It's always encouraged. Even Paul taught Timothy in the way that enable local leadership said, you know, to serve the leaders is a noble desire, because it means sacrifice, means take on responsibility other may don't want to take on. So modern society, the problem in general is not don't want leadership. It's actually the problem abjugation for feature of true leadership. Father don't want to be fathers, right? So
Right.
let me be your body, and you fed yourself. You know.
Yeah.
Teacher don't want to be teachers, right? So politicians don't want to really stand for the greater good anymore. So partisan, personal, whatever they think can win the day. So there's a great cause to fight at the system. The body of Christ for sure, leadership. Bad example for sure. Some totally deceptive. But even the good ones not able to lead. Why? Because they have signed a different kind of leadership other than the Lord. So His Holy Spirit won't enable. So those are the things you must think about. You know, so you study it. So
Yeah. Kind of back to what we were saying
yeah.
before, because like,
Yeah.
what time is it?
It's 8:38. We still have 20 minutes. So.
Yeah, because like, at the end of the day, with the people, at the end of the day, even the disciples, as confused as they may have been at some points.
The disciples? Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, just kind of what we were saying.
Yeah.
As Jesus, as a leader.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they were still there. They still chose to be led by Jesus.
Yes.
In the same way that if you were leading someone, the people that are there, they chose to be there because they believed in you and the cause of whatever you were leading. So I think that's really important too, especially for the leader or the people there. I mean, they chose to be there because they believe in you. So I think there's a lot of trust there between a leader and a follower.
Yeah. Nothing wrong about that. You don't look at me as not your leader, right? In a certain regard, you do. I know that. But you don't look at me as if I'm a flawless man gonna do everything right, right? So
No.
yeah. So the discharging of responsibility leadership, they based on what? Not for performance sake, you know. So not for the better relationship, and that relationship obviously is not peer relation or friend relationship, as we said. There's some kind of structure there innately that God set in motion for leadership, for some kind of council mapping, you know. So life make relation 难评. Those are organic. Those objects exist. Those are very healthy to more than embrace, study, and to develop better. But certain people just fundamentally write those things off or fundamentally resist those things.
Yeah.
Even as Christians, right? So,
Yeah. Because I think it really,
I'm just talking to
in the smallest
yeah.
source of leadership
Yeah.
for one, even just ourselves, I think when it really narrows down to it, most people in the world, especially Christians even, they want to lead their own life. They want to lead themselves. And I
Yeah.
think that's like the whole gatekeeper to my own destiny idea.
Yeah.
I think that's, I don't know. I think that's
okay.
like one of the biggest.
I think you're actually hitting the head on the head of the nail. You know, leadership means we got to evaluate individual right, individual preferences,
Right.
and individual what is the word? Individual wholeness. You know, so at the same time, we need to firmly understand individualism overboard, disregard the existing need for leadership, God leadership, is detrimental
Yeah.
to a healthy life in God, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
so, so we need to identify the two, you know, so how to respect and helpfully develop individual potential, individual destiny in the Lord.
Mm.
At the same time, do not allow individualism or individuality overboard, in a sense, to run over like a wildfire, right? So burn everything down. So that's like lawless and anarchy, right? So this topic, this is not necessarily a biblical topic. This topic through the ages. Part of a leadership understand how to find the proper way, you know, to delineate the leadership, God leadership. So go ahead, sorry.
No, yeah, that's true.
Not sophisticated or eradicate personalities, you know, individualities. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And that's, like I was saying, the big problem is that I guess in a Christian mindset, we think that like, okay, like I'm saved, so now that I get to go to heaven, let me lead my own life.
Oh,
Let me not.
yeah.
Let me not.
How you define that? Give a word or term. We don't want to name call him, but
No, I just
yeah.
like.
What do you think that life look? You can call it.
Don't you think it's a self-led life?
Self-led.
Self-ambitions.
Yeah, self-led.
There's no spiritual leadership. I mean, spiritual guidance.
Yeah.
Or direction.
I would call it individualism, right? So yeah.
Yeah. I'm basically explaining what you just did.
Exactly. So yeah.
And that's, I think, one of the more recent topics, especially my dad and you, and like in this place, we're not led by our own selves. We're led by the Spirit, and we have to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
And we do that by talking to you and talking to Dad and talking to
Yeah.
people who are directly led by the Spirit.
Yeah. Yes.
And we learn how to do that, so that we're not.
That's called the unity of the Spirit, right? So yeah, interesting. Unity of the Spirit.
And thank the Lord that, I mean, I know I have received some callings from the Lord, and I know some others have too.
Give me an example. What in your mind?
I guess I can only really think of one other person, which is Noah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's told me some different things about
his calling.
The Lord's calling for him. And I think at that point there's something to hold on to as followers. There's something to pray about. There's something to seek for.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing.
Yes.
I mean, I pray about it daily.
Yes.
That the Lord would just reveal more about.
It's like a fire you can't put out.
Yeah. That the Lord would reveal to each of us and to me, Lord, like what I'm supposed to do even now to achieve that.
When you're reading Hudson Taylor, right?
Yeah.
So you said what to do? Well, read that book.
Yeah.
I'm teasing you. So, well, my point is, in due time, you will know what to do.
Of course.
Your vision, your experience will expand. You know. Or water, don't tell the world. Say, hey, make a course for me.
Makes his course.
Yeah, hey, make a course for me.
It follows the.
You will find its course. You get it? You ready to get it? Think about it. A fire don't say, hey, sustain me.
Sustains itself.
Yeah, he whatever, consumable, flammable, he will consume it. Suits your life.
Water follows a paved path for
it. Yes. You found this way. Now that's something is beyond human comprehension oftentimes. Because your education system, your culture mode, it desires expectations of this life. Oftentimes, we can be responsible. Whatever goes, free spirit, right? Have fun time, wherever go, wherever lead, I don't care. Let's go out there to follow. We would do that. We think that's strange life, but it's okay. But we don't understand, actually, the responsible people truly respond for their own life. They're not responsible for it. They're like water. Because they know they're not in charge. They're not the sovereign one. It's interesting. You see, the worldly people who don't want to have responsibility much easier than actually do the life the Lord desired for those. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? I don't know how to explain to you, except to tell you, Jesus told that. You don't worry about tomorrow. But our Christian life has built, most teachings, moral teachings, has built on worry about tomorrow. Make preparation for today, for tomorrow.
There might not be tomorrow.
That's true. We need to be preparation for, but in what regard? Maybe character. People go out in the wilderness, want to survive, don't know where they're going. They train what? They how to start a campfire. How to, it's a basic life skill, making sense to you, but they definitely don't tell you, to chart on the map, go to GPS, whatever, put on the satellites, prepare airplane, somewhere, make sure you got every route, people,
Right.
They don't do that because that is under their control. Nothing wanted to be controlled. To be helpful, but but do a military operation, you can't do that. military, the satellites on, every information on. Yeah. They come with a procedure. At least know the retreating route, entry route, retreating route. I'm talking about the ambush, so. Sorry. Send a marine, whatever, the small, what are called, I don't know the word. So, like rescue somebody, So think about the two mindsets there. I think most Christians had trained themselves for handle all kinds of crises, all kinds of things. The more interested in prepare your skills, want to control the environment rather than trust God for the environment. The Bible will tell you you're a sojourner in this life, stranger to this world. You're the master of this. That's not how Christians think. See this nation. They want to control the destiny of this nation, right? They want to win the party. I'm just talking, win the election, whatever. Somehow they want to control it.
Yeah.
That controlling desire, the desire to control it, who gave that to you? That's a big question mark. I'm not saying God didn't give it. But what if God did not give to you? Then we're in trouble, right? So we're in huge trouble. Let me see. So, parallelly to personal decision life. Do you want to control your future? Or you want to trust God for your future? You're going to develop two different mindsets. If I want to control my future, I want to press God, press everybody, say, hey, where's my future wife? That's going to bother me all the time. Unless God gave me some clarity answer or others help me to get on that boat, clarity on it, I don't feel they're helping me. Yeah, I will then argue, well, did I not give God I want to find a godly wife? Well, talking to you in particular. But actually, you already decide what you want. From there, you map out how to develop relations with God, how to develop with others. When God said, no, it's not the time for you to think about those things, it will come as we can, so let's take care what today I give to you. When you concentrate, maybe not your future wife, but your brother, your friends, the thing I give to you, right? So, the book I want you to read.
It's interesting. You should. Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
it's interesting that you should say that because I was even thinking about that exactly the other day.
It's okay. Yeah.
I was thinking about that yesterday, and man, I was thinking about even exactly what you just said.
I know.
Like, wow, I need to. Maybe it's time now to focus on my brother and my family, even Noah and my brothers, like Isaac and Benji.
Yeah.
So yesterday I even asked Isaac and Benji if they want to go to breakfast with me Wednesday morning. So and my own plans to just talk about what God's doing in their life. And
There you go.
Yeah. So
start a little fellowship, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're amazed. One door can open to another thing. Always start with a godly fellowship, spiritual fellowship. Then you'll be knowing how to develop spiritual relationships. When you do a spiritual relationship, inevitably you want to say, hey, that one need my help, or I need some help. Totally different sphere of a thing open up. One thing leads to another, Elijah. You never know where life carries you. So you will find what I will call a great life and limited life. Great life is don't control your future. Seems irresponsible. Limited life, the people have ambition, have an idea what the life look like. They fight for it. Last night I was watching this Livy documentary came out on the Li Xiaolong. Li Xiaolong is Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee. He has, I think, very young. He was got in trouble in Hong Kong. He got into all kind of fights. His parents kicked him out. Go back to America. He I think he was born in San Francisco. So, so he went and man, this guy is so ambitious. He had this thing tied up, so what he wanted to become, so he wanted to become the superstar, learn the best salary, he's a very ambitious young man, 20-some years old. He died at 30-some. So I don't know, very young. I don't know even he was 30 died. My point is that everybody admired that young man. definitely achieved maybe part of what he wanted to achieve. I mean, can you imagine fighting, practice every day. That's a high discipline. You know, getting that life is a very strange life. But I don't think that young man ever know who he was. You know, he signed on this idea, I'm going to be prove to the world that it's Chinese not weak, you know, so everybody cheer him on. It's great goal to do it. But that's like that's like anecdote to something that he was lost. Chinese don't need him to prove that they're not weak, man. So they are weak, they are strong, they're strong. Fighting like that is not gonna prove anything. So making big movie stars what approved. Prove what? My point is that people's mind don't think through, so you know. You prove what? Some is Chinese proved that by nuclear weapon. That's pretty strong. That's what's wrong with you. So. But then, you know, people adore that. You know, so I think that is very, very healthy and admirable to think like that. And man dedicates his life for that. My point is that why? Then you look at us, we can step up being a Chinese American, whatever. This married human being, look at the life is about. Is that what life is about? No. If that man don't design, he fulfill everything. But it's pretty adventurous, you know. You never know you can make it or not. Like he made something. Then we can read his letter, encouragement, whatever. So, oh yeah, he achieved the life goal. Really now? What goal is that? What is goal is that? I'm not saying that we don't have a goal in life, right? So who made that goal for you? Why you made that goal? That person don't even think about it, maybe. That's a very, very limiting life to me. And I don't want you to think, I don't encourage you to apply effort in life, discipline in life. My point to you is that we better make sure that the goal is from the Lord. And second, we better, if something we really dedicate the whole life into, a whole heart into it, we better make sure we know what we're talking about. We are not controlling feature. Forget about that. We're to live a decent life, a wise life. There's different way of looking life feature. Am I making sense to you? I don't want to control where I flow into, but what I can control, I can be the pure river and the mighty river. Pure and mighty is what I can control as a river. So if you have so small stream, you said, oh, I had the right to go to the ocean. Good luck to you. So she may die in the desert very soon, right? Die in the land very soon. But if you are a pure fountain, and this fountain, and your words pure, let me see the thing. Would you believe people? Would you be surprised people want to draw water from you to drink? Deer or whatever. Would you surprised life is going to flourish when you flow through some land? You're not surprised, but it's what's supposed to be. But if you just saw stream, a muddy little stream said, hey, if I flow there must be a flock of deer come to me. So maybe some elephant. What else? Oh, God, you didn't make me. You said I'm a river. So why am I ending up here? No elephant? I'm teasing you. The elephant in Africa, man, migrate a long way to find some water. Right? So, yeah. That's all. That's all. So, learn from the thing near you. Learn things well. One learn another. Nice. So, yeah. Learn from the ones with you. There's something for you to learn. Life is always a learning. That's not motto. That's true. Okay. No man in this life and achieve great things that don't learn from others. They learn every day. I mean, no leader can be a leader if he don't learn a new situation, listen to the counsel, tell him what's going on, making new decisions, right? So accordingly, every day has new situations. So you must learn to handle those things properly, and everything is new. I try to give something for you to think about it. So, what do you prepare yourself for in the future? Prepare your heart. Prepare your capacity to handle things. Let's pray. So I'm putting in a sober mode. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to encourage you. So. Did I encourage you or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't mean to be sober, just thinking.
Yeah.
Just thinking, yeah.
I that's what I try to accomplish. It's for you to think about things. Not lofty, but we're practical, right? So the thing I shared with you, or you're gonna think about it, is we're practical stuff. So it's not lofty at all. So go ahead.
Yes, Lord, I thank you for this wisdom, Father. Lord, I pray that I would apply it directly to my life. Lord, and continue to think about it. Lord, continue to think about all the things that you have taught and Brother Emmanuel has taught, Lord. Lord, the things that you have imparted to him in his time of learning, Lord. Lord, I pray that I would continue learning, Lord, and never stop learning from you, Lord. Never stop desiring to know, Lord, what it is that you have destined for me. Lord, I pray that I would seek that out and stay on the path that leads to it, Lord. Lord, I pray that you would bless each one who seeks that same, in that same way, Lord. For those whose own destinies have been revealed to them by you. Pray you bless them. Lord, I pray you bless this next Chinese lesson, Lord, together.
Yes.
It'd be a blessed time.
Yeah, you like that. God will lay a good foundation in your life. That's a good one. Bless the Lord. And let's